Hello guys, Mr. Max here, and when I posted a video about me benching and the cat incident, some people have you got a glimpse of my bench setup, and for some people I assume it might have a look a bit unusual. I do some things that are different or that maybe you're not used to see people do in the gym. So I wanted today to go through with you a video recorded for myself of myself training. And this video was recorded for myself to coach myself, because this is something I do. I still make mistakes, and sometimes watching myself on video allows me to catch those mistakes and correct them. And this video was taken. It was taken actually after I did my bench work, but I wanted to record a video for this purpose. So I put the weight back down a bit so I can focus more a bit on form and try not to have something too ugly to look at. But I still made some mistake, especially that I just got back into rowing. It's something I like to do for cardio a lot, and it's not easy to get back into it. My legs are sore as hell, and it shows in that video as well. I'm gonna try this thing with the scene here. So let's look at this together. So first thing, let's talk about a bit about the setup. I do bench in a squat rack. I have the squat rack because I like to squat, and I don't have that much room here in my office, so just putting the bench in the squat rack, it works. Just do the job just fine. The upright, the safety bar is set like that, or arrive below the top of my chest when I do arch, but if I flatten my back, then the bar is gonna rest on the safety bar, and I can just like slip under the bar if I miss a rep, which sometimes does happen. So that's a safety measure. You see, I put tape on the upright of the bench, the yellow tape. That allows me to, if I move the hook for different exercise, like if I put them up for squat and stuff like that, then I can just put them back at the height I like without having to fiddle around too much. That's a good trick to have. So let's play the video, and I'm gonna talk through what I do and why I do it. Oh, you can notice also there's a wooden board behind the bench that is resting against the upright. That's for when I put the leg drive so the bench doesn't slip back. That's just a few things about my setup there. So now I approach the bench. I'm gonna grab my wrist strap. Wrist strap should be pretty tight. So and wrist strap are useful to prevent injuries if you don't want your when the weights get heavy. Now that's not much weight, but I wanted to put the wrist strap on to show you what you should do. And having wrist strap is a good idea. It prevents injury on the wrist, but also more severe injury, because without wrist strap, your wrist could bend forward and have you drop the bar, and the bar could fall on your chest and hurt you seriously. Now you see I put my shoulder blade back and together, and I try to open my hips, and I squat down on the bench, keeping my shoulder blade together as much as I can. And now I press myself, I put my feet on the bench. What I'm trying to do here is to get as high as I can on my, let's pause the video a bit. Try to get as high as I can on my traps. On bench, you want the contact with the bench on the upper body to be the back of the head, ideally, the back of the neck, and the top of the traps. So you really want to be high on those traps to put a good arch in the upper part of your back. And that's what I'm doing there. And it's also why I'm pushing myself on the upright. That allow me to get higher up. You bring the crutch to the bar. So that's gonna put your back your back high up like that. And also pushing yourself on the upright, you can really like make sure that your shoulder blades are together and down. Now I'm grabbing the bar, and I try to grab the bar as deep as I can in the hand, and I'm still wiggling a bit, making sure that my shoulder blades are together and down. I put the feet back on the ground there, but here I made a mistake. I put my feet are too open. ideally what you want to be your thigh and your feet to be on the same axis in a line. So now I should have like opened the hips a bit more, send the knee out a bit more, rotate the femur outside a bit more, and that's probably the soreness from the rowing there, and have the heel a little bit more outward to keep everything on the same axis instead of having the feet going in a different direction than the thigh. And you can see also, if you look at my arms, you can see that I try to bend the bar on the way down and stretch it on the way up. That allows to activate the tricep more and the lats more. So that's one thing you want to try. And you can see my chest is moving up a bit when I bring the bar down. That's because that's with the leg drive. What you want the leg drive to do, with the leg drive, you want to push yourself back, in my case toward the wall. And since you have your shoulder in contact with the bench and you push yourself back with the feet, that's gonna the force is gonna go through your spine, lift your chest a bit. So we say oftentimes meet the bar with the chest, but actually what it's doing is like as you bring the bar down on your lats, that's pushing your chest up, and with you pushing back with your feet, the strength is transferred to the arch of the back and go down against the bench, and so your leg drive is transferred back against the bench on the way down, and your arm are pushing up against the bar. So those two forces add up and allow you to move more weight. That's how you transfer the leg drive to the bench. That's why you want to have an arch in the back. In the upper part of the back, you don't want to be sitting on the tip of your pelvis. You still want to have the pelvis like on the back of your pelvis on the bench. And your ass must stay on the bench, not only in competition, but also if your ass is lifting from the bench, that means you're trying to activate leg drive you're pushing up instead of pushing back, and that means you're using your hip flexor. And the leg drive really should come from the hamstring. Sometimes I often try to explain to people, is like think if you are trying to do a leg extension, but since your feet are firmly on the ground, the legs can come up, so it's the whole body that's pushed back. Or like if you're trying to push yourself back from the bench, that's really the idea you want. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And that's why you see my whole body like kind of rocking backward. And the leg drive, you want to activate when you start bringing the bar down. You don't want to activate the leg drive when the bar touches the chest. You want to have the leg drive on during the whole movement. So as you start bringing the bar down, you put the leg drive 100% on, and you keep it on until the movement is done. If you let it go a bit during between rep, that's no big deal. But during the movement, the leg drive should be on. Also on breath, you want to take a big breath on. Usually before you unrack, you're gonna fill your lung with breath, breathe in through the nose. And you want to keep you want to keep your air in during the movement. You don't want to breathe out as you push up or as you bring the bar down or anything like that. You want to keep the air in during the movement. If you're doing multiple reps, you try to keep the air in as much as you can. And sometimes if you do long set, maybe you're gonna have to reset between some reps. Try to go as long as you can without having to reset, because usually when you reset, you won't do as many reps after than before. So maybe you're gonna have like 2 or 3 more reps after. But then if you reset, and if you have to change your air, do it while you're on top with the elbow lock. So let's go to the video again. So I put the wrist strap on. I go high on my traps, pushing myself back, using the upright to try to make sure my shoulder blades are together and down, getting the bar as deep in my hand as I can, putting my feet down, pushing myself back. Now I'm gonna lift the bar. Now I'm bending the bar and bringing the bar down, on the chest, having the chest meet the bar, pushing myself back with the leg drive, doing some reps, keeping the air in, and I'm gonna re-rack, I guess, at some point. And that's a set that is done. So I hope this was helpful and interesting. It's just a quick look of usually how I set up for bench. Like I said, I'm still making mistakes because when you haven't trained in a while, you have to get back into the form, you have to get used to it again, and the body gets stiff. So I'm still, my hips are still very tight. That's how often sometimes that that I do have a problem with, and I suffer a lot from it on the squat, to be honest, at the moment. But it's something also that come back as you train. So if that happened to you, don't despair. Just keep at it, keep practicing, keep training, and it's gonna come over time. So have a good training, be strong, and have a good day. Take care.